In a world that moves at a dizzying speed, it is easy to get lost in the tide of thoughts and worries. Our mind, as a tireless engine, produces an endless flow of ideas, doubts, and fears that disconnect us from the beauty of the present. This constant restlessness, which manifests itself as anxiety and a feeling of disassessing, is a universal human experience. What many do not know is that there is a millennial wisdom, taught by traditions such as Buddhism, which offers us a way to transform this agitation into serenity. This is not a magic formula for eliminating feelings, but a learning journey to relate to them in a more conscious and compassionate way. The secret to inner calm is not to change the outside world, but to look inside and allow the rhythm of our own existence to slow down. In this script, you will discover 10 guiding principles that, inspired by Buddhist philosophy, can help dissolve anxiety and build a lasting state of peace. And so you don't miss any stage of this journey, I invite you to embark on us and follow this channel, activating notifications to receive our next reflections. Principle 1. Calm the mental turmoil. The mind, when running away, is like a fury waterfall. It jumps from one thought to another, seeking to control the uncontrollable and solve the insoluble. This endless race for responses in the future or regrets in the past keeps us trapped in a cycle of restlessness. The first step towards mental freedom is to learn to observe our thoughts without clinging to them. In Buddhism, the practice of meditation teaches us not to fight the chain of thoughts, but to just witness them, as if we were the sky watching the passing clouds. We mistakenly believe that we need to combat negative thoughts, but this internal battle only gives them more power. True peace is born when we allow them to come and go freely, without reacting, without judging. They are just mental events, and we, the conscience that perceives them, are much more vast and unchanging than them. Sitting in silence to observe the mind may seem an impossible task at first, such as trying to tame a wild foal. However, with practice we find that thoughts are not our owner. They arise, disappear, and among them there is a space of stillness. This space is our refuge. Inner silence is not the total absence of thoughts, but the absence of the confusion they generate. As we stop running after every idea that arises, the mind naturally slows down, revealing a clarity that was once hidden by the veil of fear and desire. The mind may be our greatest ally, or our worst prison, depending on how we treat it. When we learn to observe it, instead of being hostage to their whims, we have gained an invaluable freedom. Wisdom does not come from the accumulation of thoughts, but from the silence that allows the truth to be revealed. Breathing meditation is a powerful and accessible tool to all. You don't have to be an expert. Just sit, close your eyes, and focus on inspiration and expiration. Breathing is the anchor that holds us to now, the only moment where life truly happens. When the mind rambles, we come back to breathing kindly, without blaming ourselves. This is how we train our attention, with patience and without haste. To silence the mind is not to escape from life, but to contact her essence. Mental noise distracts us from what really matters. When the mind is paid, we hear the heart, the intuition, and the voice of the wisdom that exists in all of us. Principle 2. Receive emotions as guests. Emotions are visitors in our inner home. Some come gently, bringing joy and contentment, while others enter the strength of a hurricane such as anger, fear, or sadness. Buddhist wisdom teaches us not to resist these visits, but to receive them with attention and respect. Resisting an emotion is like trying to hold the water with your hands. The fight only increases internal turbulence. Judging an emotion like wrong or bad creates an unnecessary conflict. Emotions, even the most uncomfortable, are messengers. They carry important information about our mind and body. Trying to ignore or repress them is useless, as they come back even more intensely. The way for peace is to welcome them as who receives a guest at home, offering him our total presence. Observing emotions does not mean drowning in them, but maintaining a conscious distance. You feel the emotion, but it's not her. You see her, but don't let her command your actions. This witness stance transforms our relationship with suffering. Pain, instead of being an enemy, becomes an opportunity for growth and self-knowledge. Acceptance opens the space for healing. Impermanence is one of the great teachings of Buddhism, and it applies to emotions as well. No emotional state lasts forever. Today's sadness will be different tomorrow. The fear that paralyzes now will dissolve over time. Acceptance of this truth gives us the courage to feel fully, without the panic of being trapped in pain. Full attention practice helps us to recognize what we feel. Sometimes, an emotion comes up and we don't know what it is, but as we breathe calmly and observe with kindness, it reveals itself. Perhaps it is tiredness, a yearning for connection, or a need for care. Recognizing the emotion is how to light a light in a dark room. What seemed scary becomes only human, and it is in this compassionate look that liberation begins. Suffering decreases because we stop fighting our own humanity. The way to peace is not that of a heart that shields, but that of a heart that expands to welcome everything that arises. Principle 3. Slow down and do one thing at a time. In our modern world, speed is often equated with success. We are encouraged to multitask, to fill every moment with activity, believing that doing everything at once is a sign of efficiency. However, this relentless rush fragments our attention, tightens our bodies, and distances our hearts from the present moment. The path to true freedom, as taught by Buddhism, begins when we consciously choose to decelerate. By doing less with more focus, we begin to live with greater depth. The simple act of doing one thing at a time is far more powerful than it sounds. When you are eating, just eat. When you are walking, just walk. While this seems straightforward, it's a profound challenge for a restless mind that wants to sprint ahead to the future or rehash the past. Yet the present is the only place where life truly unfolds. Anxiety is born from the desire to be somewhere else, doing something else. It's the feeling that this moment is never enough. When you slow down and immerse yourself in what you are doing, your mind naturally calms down. You stop chasing life and begin to live it. The practice of conscious walking, for instance, is a testament to this principle. Each step taken with awareness is a step toward peace. You don't have to change your destination, just the way you move. Feel the ground beneath your feet, the air entering and leaving your lungs, the sounds around you. These small details anchor you in the present, leaving no room for anxiety to grow. When you reduce your pace, you start to notice things that were previously invisible: the flavor of your food, the warmth of the sun, the melody of a bird's song. A present mind is like a clean lens, revealing the hidden beauty in everything. You begin to feel more whole, and this sense of completeness dissolves the constant feeling of lacking something. The practice doesn't demand radical life changes. You can start right now, wherever you are. Take a deep breath and feel what you're doing. Notice the movement of your hands, the temperature of the room, the sound of your own voice. Every daily gesture can become a form of meditation when done with attention. This simple practice turns the ordinary into a spiritual path. When we rush through life, we lose more than just time. We lose our connection to life itself. Buddhism invites us to trade quantity for quality. Fewer tasks, more presence. Less rush, more awareness. When you adopt this mindset, each moment feels complete, and your mind learns that it doesn't need to run to the next instant. The fear of not being able to handle everything fuels our frantic pace, but the truth is, when you focus on one thing at a time, you become more effective. A focused mind makes fewer mistakes, gets less tired, and achieves things with a lighter spirit. Anxiety dissipates because you stop living in a hypothetical future. Everything flows better when you are fully present in every action, every word, every breath. Slowing down isn't about stopping your life. It's about learning to live it more fully. Doing one thing at a time is a gift you give to yourself. The teachings show us that when we are truly here, peace doesn't need to be pursued. It reveals itself. In this state of presence, anxiety dissolves like morning mist in the sun. Principle 4. Strengthen your body and mind through conscious breathing. The breath is the living bridge between our body and our mind. It's happening all the time, yet we rarely give it our full attention. When we breathe with awareness, everything changes. The heart rate slows, thoughts quiet down, and the body relaxes. The Buddhist tradition teaches that the breath is a natural anchor to the present moment. It reconnects us to life, to the here and now. Breathing mindfully is more than just an exercise. It is an act of self-care. As you inhale, you are welcoming life. As you exhale, you are letting go of what no longer serves you. This simple practice has the power to transform our internal states. In moments of stress, a few deep, conscious breaths can be enough to restore balance. It's a gentle invitation to return home, to the stillness within. The anxious mind tends to race to the past or future. The breath brings you back. By feeling the air enter your nostrils and leave your body, you create space for calm to emerge. This presence shifts your perception of the world. What seemed overwhelming becomes manageable. What felt confusing begins to clarify. In Buddhism, the breath is seen as a gateway to wisdom. It's not necessary to understand everything rationally. You simply need to feel your body, feel the air, feel life itself. With each conscious breath, you are creating a small moment of peace. And these small moments, repeated throughout the day, build a more tranquil mind and a lighter heart. Practicing conscious breathing doesn't require any special effort. You can do it while sitting, lying down, walking, or even washing dishes. Just bring your attention to the air flowing in and out. At first, your mind will wander, but each time you gently return to your breath, you are training your presence. Over time, this training becomes a natural reflex. The body also benefits deeply. Mindful breathing reduces muscle tension, improves circulation, and strengthens the nervous system. It's a silent but powerful form of care. When the body is at peace, the mind finds more room to rest, and when the mind rests, suffering diminishes. In moments of emotional pain, the breath can be a refuge. Instead of reacting impulsively, you breathe. Instead of getting lost in fear, you breathe. This simple act prevents the emotion from overwhelming you. It gives you time, clarity, and wisdom. Gradually, you learn that you have a choice in how you respond. The breath is also a way to reconnect with presence. When you are truly present, everything has a different quality. Food has more flavor, music has more depth, a simple touch has more meaning. Everything feels more real. And this reality is where peace resides. The mind slows down and rests in the now. Buddhism reminds us that we don't have to escape life to find peace. Peace is in how we breathe, how we walk, how we feel. Breathing with attention is like lighting a candle in the dark. It illuminates your inner world even on the most difficult days. Strengthening your body and mind doesn't require rituals. Just return to your breath 1, 2, 3 times a day with calm, with presence, with kindness. Life breathes in us all the time. We just need to listen. And by listening, we become more alive, more present, and more free. It all starts with a simple inhale and a gentle exhale. Hey, if these principles are resonating with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Sometimes a single comment can open a whole new world of understanding for someone else watching. So, if you're feeling it, share what you think below. And while you're there, consider joining our community. Subscribing is a small gesture that helps us keep these conversations going and reach more people on this shared journey. Principle 5. Tidy your space, tidy your mind. The environment we live in is a direct reflection of our inner state and, at the same time, profoundly influences it. A cluttered, disorganized space filled with excess creates mental noise and confusion. In contrast, a clean and harmonious environment fosters calm and clarity. Buddhism teaches us that everything is interconnected. Caring for our external world is a way of caring for our inner world. When you organize the place where you live, your mind also finds a way to reorganize itself. The simplicity of your surroundings brings a lightness to your heart. Each object in its rightful place creates a sense of order and tranquility. This isn't about luxury or aesthetics, but about balance. A peaceful environment invites the body and mind to rest. The simple act of cleaning your home can become a meditation. As you sweep the floor, you're also sweeping away old thoughts. As you dust a shelf, you're releasing old worries. A present mind transforms any chore into a healing ritual. With attention and care, everything takes on new meaning. Even the most ordinary tasks become sacred. An excess of possessions can trap us emotionally. We hold on to objects out of attachment, fear, or habit, but often they just take up space and block the flow of energy. The Buddhist path encourages us to practice non-attachment. Releasing what is no longer useful opens up space for the new. And this emptiness is not an absence, but a form of freedom. Caring for your environment is also an act of respect for yourself and for those who share your space. A tidy room, a welcoming living area, a clean kitchen, these things radiate love. Conscious living is part of awakening. Every detail of your environment communicates something to your mind. The colors, the smells, the sounds. A quiet corner can become a refuge of peace. A well-tended plant reminds us of the beauty of life. Natural light entering through a window brings warmth to the spirit. These are small gestures that have big effects. It all starts with awareness. Our environment also influences our emotions. Cluttered places can increase anxiety. Dark or noisy spaces can cause irritation. Conversely, an airy, simple and clean space invites serenity. The body relaxes, the breath slows down and the mind becomes still. It's in this state that the best thoughts arise. You don't need a lot to transform a place. Sometimes just opening a window, lighting some incense or playing soft music is enough. Other times you need to let go of what no longer serves you. The important thing is to create a space that welcomes, inspires and nourishes the soul, a space that reflects the peace you are seeking. Buddhism teaches us that everything has energy, and this energy moves around us all the time. When we cultivate harmony in our space, we cultivate harmony within ourselves. This is not about perfection, but about presence. Being mindful of your environment is a way of practicing the now, and the now is where everything transforms. Care for your space as if you were caring for a temple, with kindness, respect, and love. Not because someone will see it, but because you deserve to live in peace. A harmonious environment doesn't just beautify life, it heals. And in this silent healing, body and mind flourish. It all starts around you and expands within. Principle 6. Embrace imperfection. Release the need for control. Life rarely unfolds exactly as we imagine it. There are unexpected twists, mistakes, failures, and delays. All of this is part of the journey. Suffering grows when we resist what is. When we fight against reality, we lose our peace. The Buddhist principle of acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means stopping the struggle against what cannot be changed. Accepting the imperfections of situations frees us from constant tension. This doesn't mean you have to like what happened, but it means you stop feeding your pain with resistance. When you release the need to control everything, your mind relaxes. A new space emerges, the space of conscious surrender. And in this space, true strength is born. The internal struggle exhausts us. Our mind tries to find blame, to replay scenarios, to predict outcomes, but the past is gone and the future hasn't arrived. The only thing we truly have is the present, and it's never perfect. Accepting this is an act of wisdom. It's recognizing that the beauty of life is also in its imperfections. The Buddhist concept of impermanence is always present. Everything changes, everything passes, nothing is permanent. Difficult situations are also temporary, but if we resist them, we prolong our suffering. It's like trying to swim against the current. When we accept, the energy previously used in the fight transforms into calm, and with calm, we see everything more clearly. Imperfection is not a flaw of life, it is its very nature. We want things to be predictable, but the world doesn't work that way. There are planned failures, missed connections, and unexpected pauses. When we accept this, we stop waiting for perfection and start living with more lightness. Flexibility becomes an ally. To accept is also to trust that even without understanding everything, we can move forward, that even in difficulties, there are hidden lessons. Acceptance does not take away our ability to act, but it gives us the peace to act better, without desperation, without guilt, without haste, with presence and wisdom. Resistance creates rigidity. Acceptance creates space, an internal space where we can breathe, feel, and reflect. When we accept that not everything will be as we want it, we open the door to new possibilities. Often, what seems imperfect today will be a turning point tomorrow, a new beginning disguised as an end. Acceptance is not passive. It is an active, lucid, and profound state. It's a state where the mind recognizes it can't control everything, yet still chooses to live with gratitude. This isn't weakness, it's maturity. It's about stopping the waste of energy fighting the world and starting to use that energy to flourish, even in the midst of chaos. On the Buddhist path, we learn that every moment is a teacher. Even discomfort teaches us something. Even failure reveals something. When we stop demanding that everything be right, we find peace, even when things are uncertain. This peace doesn't depend on external conditions. It is born from within, from a heart that has learned to accept. Accepting the imperfection of situations is like letting go of a heavy weight. The body breathes better, the mind clears, and the soul is grateful. The Buddhist teachings remind us, freedom is not in having total control, but in making peace with what is. And when we do this, life flows again in its own way, at its own pace, and everything becomes lighter. Principle 7. Listen with a gentle heart. Listening is more than just hearing words. It's about receiving another person with your full presence and inner stillness. When we practice active listening, we create space for genuine connection. Buddhism teaches us that listening with attention is an act of compassion. We don't try to fix, interrupt, or judge. We are simply there, fully present and receptive. Many times, we listen only while waiting for our turn to speak. The mind is already racing, preparing responses, advice, and opinions, but this disconnects us from the other person. True listening requires a pause. It demands that we set aside our own hurried thoughts and enter the other person's time. In this space, anxiety lessens and the heart calms. Active listening doesn't need beautiful words or ready-made solutions. Sometimes the other person just needs to be heard, seen, recognized, and respected. And when someone feels they are being listened to from the heart, something transforms. Their pain softens, their confusion clears. Listening becomes a balm, a silent and sincere embrace. In Buddhism, attentive listening is also a form of meditation. It's being present in the moment, aware of what is happening both outside and inside you. Each word we hear reverberates within us, as does every emotion we feel while listening. Observing this without impulsive reactions is a profound exercise in awareness. To listen well is a rare gesture in a world that moves too fast, but those who listen with presence become a safe harbor for others. The anxiety that once invaded conversations gives way to calm. Communication stops being a dispute and becomes an encounter, a bond that deepens, a connection that doesn't depend on agreement, but on genuine attention. Active listening also transforms us from within. By opening ourselves to others, we open up new spaces within ourselves. We notice how quickly we judge, how much we project our own ideas, and how we avoid silence. And by noticing, we begin to change, becoming more patient, more empathetic, and more humble. This change is not sudden but continuous. Listening well begins at home. Listen to the people you live with without rush, without distractions. Sometimes, the person who most needs to be heard is right beside us every day, but we're too busy to notice. The practice of active listening starts in the details, a present gaze, a moment without a phone, a silence that is welcoming. We also need to listen to ourselves. External silence helps us hear our inner voice, our emotions, desires, and doubts. When we listen to ourselves with presence, we better understand what we feel. We stop repressing or fleeing. And by listening to ourselves, we become more capable of listening to others. Listening begins within and expands outward. Buddhism reminds us that everything communicates: the tone of a voice, the body language, the silence. Active listening includes all of this. It's not limited to words. Sometimes the most important thing is in what isn't said. Being attentive to these signals makes us more sensitive and wise, and this sensitivity deepens our human bonds. Listening with presence is an act of love, a love that doesn't want to control, doesn't demand, and doesn't expect anything in return. It just offers space. And in that space, anxiety dissolves, hearts draw closer, and peace flourishes. Active listening isn't just a skill, it's a way of living, a path to more awareness, more connection, and more compassion. As we've journeyed through these principles, you've seen that the path to a calmer, more present life isn't about grand gestures or a sudden shift in circumstances. It's built on small, mindful choices made every day. It's about how you breathe, how you listen, and how you relate to the world around you. Each of these principles is a tool, a gentle invitation to connect with the deep peace that already exists within you. I genuinely hope this guide has offered you some new perspectives and has brought a little more calm into your day. If you'd like to explore more about these topics and learn new ways to nurture your inner peace, consider joining our community. By subscribing, you'll be helping this channel grow and ensure that these conversations can continue to reach more people who are also looking for a bit more serenity in their lives. Thank you for being here and for your willingness to embark on this journey with us.